Our senior United States senators from the state of New York, Chuck Schumer, said yesterday, I believe, that we have to continue to fund the Ukrainian effort, or U.S. soldiers, citizens, could wind up fighting there.
Tucker's 2-hour interview with Putin is on the agenda. There were a lot of interesting topics, but I want to focus on the fact that Putin will use nuclear weapons if it comes to Crimea. What's really going to happen and what he wants to say to the world? Let's find out.
Well, he's funding the war that you're fighting, so I would think that would be memorable.
Well, yes, he funds, but I talked to him before the special military operation, of course. And I said to him then, by the way, I will not go into details, I never do, but I said to him then, I believe that you are making a huge mistake of historic proportions by supporting everything that is happening there, in Ukraine, by pushing Russia away. I told him repeatedly, by the way. I think that would be correct if I stop here.
The Russian president believes that America should simply stop sponsoring the war in Ukraine. Stop supplying huge quantities of weapons and ammunition. This could be resolved in a couple of weeks. Our country, as you know, is in first place in terms of money given to Ukraine. In my opinion, we have a duty to defend our own state, not to take care of someone else's.
But you haven't spoken to him since before February of 2022?
No, we haven't spoken. Certain contacts are being maintained, though. Speaking of which, do you remember what I told you about my proposal to work together on a missile defense system?
Yes.
You can ask all of them. All of them are safe and sound, thank God. The former president, Condoleezza, is safe and sound, and I think Mr. Gates and the current director of the intelligence agency, Mr. Burns, the then ambassador to Russia, in my opinion, are very successful ambassador. They were all witnesses to these conversations.
Putin claims he has tried to negotiate, and more than once. Many treaties and agreements have been signed, but none of them have been properly implemented. The U.S. government simply forgot or did not want to fulfill the terms. No one has told us about this, and it is very interesting in my opinion.
I'm definitely interested, but from the outside, it seems like this could devolve or evolve into something that brings the entire world into conflict and could initiate a nuclear launch. And so why don't you just call Biden and say, let's work this out?
What's there to work out? It's very simple. I repeat, we have contacts through various agencies. I will tell you what we are saying on this matter and what we are conveying to the US leadership. If you really want to stop fighting, you need to stop supplying weapons. It will be over within a few weeks.
They do have contacts and communicate, but not in the media field. That's interesting. So why hasn't our current government told us about this? Don't you find that odd? Why didn't Biden say that Russia is making steps of reconciliation, but we are refusing them? Biden is not satisfied with everything, and he obviously wants more.
Here are the facts. It's, the home of Russia's warm water fleet. It's got a Russian population. They had a referendum. It chose Russia. It's part of Russia. It's where Russian wine comes from. So you can like that or not like it, but the fact is Putin would go to war, nuclear war, if it came down to Crimea. And by the way, Crimea was in Russian hands at the beginning of this war. So it's like, if you really think that a condition of peace is that Putin's going to give up Crimea, then you're like a lunatic. And they are. I mean, they want a weak leadership in Russia. And the question is, why would you want that? How is that good for the United States? I'm not defending Russia, I'm defending my own country.
This excerpt was published separately from the entire interview. Tucker says Russia is ready for nuclear war and is ready to defend Crimea. We clearly do not want our children to see a war, especially one in which there will be no winners and no losers. It's very scary. Our world is already too fragile, and we are seeing things getting hotter and hotter every day. Friends, what do you think about this video? What did you discover from this interview? Share your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.